Part 1, Introduction. Why can't you speak English? Hello and thank you for clicking on this video. Welcome to Kunzy Podcast English, where we break through the limits of language learning, not just with knowledge, but by transforming the way you think and practice. Right now, I want you to ask yourself a simple but powerful question. Do I really want to speak English better? If your answer is yes, then you're in the right place at the right time. Because today, we're going to talk about a problem that millions of English learners around the world are silently facing. Maybe you are one of them. You've been learning English for years, maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe even longer. You've memorized tons of vocabulary. You understand grammar. You can read books, watch movies, even pass language exams. And yet, when the time comes to speak, your mouth freezes. Your heart beats fast. Your brain goes blank. And eventually, you stay silent. I know that feeling. I've been there myself. And I want you to know, you are not alone. This is one of the most common issues I've seen. Over the past decade, I've had the privilege of working with more than 100,000 students from all around the world. They came from different countries, backgrounds, and professions. But strangely, many of them shared one identical problem. They couldn't speak English, even after years of dedicated study. Maybe you've asked yourself the same question. Why can't I speak English even though I've studied so much? And then the self-doubt starts creeping in. Maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe I just don't have the talent. Maybe I've been learning the wrong way. Or worse, maybe English just isn't for me. I want you to pause those thoughts for a moment, because the truth is this. Speaking English has nothing to do with how smart you are or how many words you know. The problem isn't that you're not good enough. The real issue lies in how you've been learning and how you've been practicing. In this podcast, I'm going to share with you the 3 core reasons why you still can't speak English, even after years of studying. More importantly, I'll give you 3 simple, practical, and powerful solutions that can help you break through the fear, unlock your voice, and start speaking English with confidence. These are not just tips from a textbook. They come from real-life experience after thousands of teaching hours. And if you stay with me until the end, I'll reveal to you one incredibly simple habit that takes just 5 minutes a day, yet has the power to completely transform your speaking ability. Get ready, because the journey to break your silence begins right now. Part 2, Reason 1, the wall of fear. You know what? The biggest enemy that stops you from speaking English isn't a lack of vocabulary. It's not complex grammar or difficult pronunciation. The real thing holding you back is fear. A quiet, invisible fear living deep inside your mind. It doesn't have a face, but it has power. It builds a wall between your brain and your mouth. Inside your brain, everything is ready. You know exactly what you want to say. You've studied those sentences. You've rehearsed the words. But when it's time to speak, you freeze. Your hands turn cold, your heart races, your mouth goes dry, and then silence. Not because you don't know, but because that wall of fear blocks the words from coming out. I know that feeling very well, because I used to be you. When I first started learning a new language, this happened to me again and again. I had the words. I knew the grammar. I even had my sentence ready in my head. But when the teacher asked me something, I froze. I thought, what if I say it wrong? Will people laugh at me? Does my accent sound weird? So I stayed silent over and over again. This is not just a skill problem. This is a psychological wall, and almost every learner faces it. But believe me, it can be broken. You don't have to wait until you feel 100% ready, because that day will never come. You just have to dare to speak, even if it's messy, even if it's not perfect. Every time you speak despite the fear, you are chipping away at that wall, little by little, until one day it crumbles and your voice flows freely, naturally, confidently. Part 3. Reason 2. The enemy called it. Imagine this. You're standing in front of a native speaker. The English sentence you want to say is already formed in your mind, but you don't say it. You hesitate, then stay silent. Not because you don't know the words, not because you don't understand grammar, but because you're afraid of making a mistake. You want your sentence to be perfect. Perfect words, perfect grammar, perfect pronunciation. You're afraid people might judge you, misunderstand you, or even laugh at you. This fear of imperfection is one of the biggest reasons English learners stop themselves from speaking. Sadly, the more you chase perfection, the more you delay your progress. You don't speak because you think you're not good enough yet. But the truth is, if you never speak, you'll never become good. I remember one of my students, Alex. He was hardworking, had great vocabulary, good reading skills, and decent listening, but he almost never spoke. Every time he tried, he stopped himself with questions like, is this the right word? Is my grammar correct? Do native speakers say this? And so he stayed silent instead of speaking his thoughts. I told Alex something that I want you to remember too. Learning a language is not like solving a math test. There isn't only one correct answer. You don't need to be perfect to be understood. All you need is to say something that gets your message across. And that's already a success. Think about a baby learning to walk. That baby falls again and again. But no one says, you keep falling, just stop trying. No. People cheer. Get up. You're doing great. It's because of all those falls that the baby eventually walks. It's the same with speaking English. If you're too afraid to be wrong, you'll never speak. But if you allow yourself to make mistakes, you'll improve faster than you expect. Remember this phrase, done is better than perfect. In other words, saying something is better than waiting forever to say it perfectly. Here's an example. A fluent speaker might say, I went to a cafe with my friend this afternoon and we drank lattes. Perfect sentence. But a beginner might say, today I drink coffee with friend. Not perfect. Wrong tense. Missing articles. And yet guess what? The listener still understands. The message gets through. That means communication success. Language is not about showing off how smart you are. It's about connecting with people. And sometimes the imperfect sentence you dare to say can create a more real human conversation than any perfect phrase ever could. Part 4. Reason 3. The swimming pool problem. Learning English is a lot like learning how to swim. You can read 10 books on swimming techniques, watch countless YouTube videos about breathing, kicking, and arm movement, and even memorize every step of the process. But if you never actually get into the water, you will never be able to swim. Why? Because knowing the theory doesn't mean you can do it. You've only taken in information. You haven't practiced. And this is exactly what many English learners do. They listen to podcasts, watch English shows, read news articles, memorize vocabulary, all great input activities. But they rarely do any output, speaking or writing. It's like training to swim without ever entering the pool. You might understand English, but you won't be able to use it. I call this the swimming pool problem. English speaking is not just about knowledge. It's a physical skill. It involves your tongue, lips, vocal cords, and brain all working together. And for that to happen smoothly, you can't just know what to say. You have to say it out loud again and again until it becomes natural. This is where muscle memory comes in. Just like learning guitar or riding a bike, at first you're clumsy. But the more you do it, the more your body remembers the moves. English is the same. You need to practice speaking, even if it's messy, even if it's wrong, even if you stumble. The important thing is you're in the water, and that's the only way to start swimming. Knowing theory is great, but it's not enough. Remember, knowledge is only part of the journey. The other part, the one that changes everything, is action. Part 5, solution, how to start speaking English today. Now that you understand why you can't speak English fluently, the fear, the perfectionism, the lack of real practice, the next question is, what can I do to start speaking today? The good news is you don't need a native teacher, you don't need to live abroad, and you don't need a perfect environment. All you need are 3 simple but powerful actions. 1, talk to yourself. Simple, free, and surprisingly powerful. It might sound strange at first, but talking to yourself in English is one of the best ways to practice speaking. No judgment, no pressure, no audience. Just you and your thoughts. You can start with small, easy sentences. In the morning. Good morning. Today is Monday. I feel sleepy. While brushing your teeth. I am brushing my teeth. This toothpaste tastes minty. While cooking, I'm making an egg. The pan is hot. Walking outside, I see a dog. The dog is cute. It is running. It's not about being perfect. It's about training your brain to think in English. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. And because no one is listening, there's no fear. This helps you break the psychological wall that stops so many learners from speaking. 2, find a language partner. Grow together, step by step. No one can go far alone. A language partner keeps you motivated, keeps you consistent, and gives you real speaking practice. Thanks to the internet, finding one is easier than ever. You can find someone learning your native language and do a simple exchange. 15 minutes in English, 15 minutes in your language. You both help each other. And you'll realize that your partner also makes mistakes, also feels nervous. And that's okay. You're in it together. Talking with a real person forces your brain to find ways to express ideas, even if you don't have the perfect words. That's where the real learning happens. 3, use English in real life. Start with small steps. This is the hardest one, but it's also the one that changes everything. Use English in real life, not in a classroom, not in a textbook, out in the world. Start small. Go to a coffee shop and say 3 simple sentences. Hi. 1 coffee, please. Thank you. That's enough for one day. Yes, you might feel shy, your voice might shake, but you did it. You spoke English in real life, and that tiny moment becomes a huge win. You feel proud, you feel brave, and you think, I can do this. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to speak. Every day. Final message. Talk to yourself. Find a partner. Speak in real life. These 3 simple things done every day will help you break the wall of fear, defeat the perfection monster, and jump into the English swimming pool that you've avoided for so long. Don't wait until you're ready. Don't wait until you're perfect. Just start today. Part 6, simple habits that can change everything. A simple habit can truly change everything, and the magic lies in the very first method you can start using today, talking to yourself in English. It may sound basic, even silly to some, but its effectiveness surprises many learners. You don't need a classroom. You don't need a teacher. You don't need a partner to practice with. All you need is yourself, because this is one of the most natural ways to practice speaking, with zero pressure, no fear of mistakes, and the ability to begin immediately. Talking to yourself brings powerful benefits. First of all, it's free. You don't have to pay to practice. Second, you don't need to worry about being judged or laughed at, because no one is listening. You are allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to fumble your words. And that's exactly what gives you the courage to speak more. Another strength of this habit is that it removes the need for perfection. Many people delay speaking because they're afraid of being wrong. But language learning isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. When you talk to yourself, you remove the pressure to be correct. You focus on building fluency, and this is how you shift from input to output. Just 5 minutes a day can bring a massive change in your speaking ability. It doesn't have to be complicated. Start by describing the room around you or retelling your day. For example, I woke up at 7. I brushed my teeth. I had breakfast. Then I went to work. These simple sentences are the building blocks of confidence. The best part is, the more you keep doing it, the more progress you'll see. Today, you might say only 3 sentences. Next week, it could be 10. A month later, you might speak for several minutes without stopping. No more hesitation. No more fear. You'll feel more confident, and English will feel less like a barrier. From one small action, you build a strong foundation. From one simple habit, you create long-term transformation. And it all starts with something that may seem strange: talking to yourself. But the truth is, that's how most successful learners began. And if you start today, your future with English will be completely different. We've come a long way in this short yet powerful journey. We've explored the fears, the doubts, the silent struggles that hold us back from speaking English. Now it's time to zoom out and see the full picture. Because the truth is, you can speak English. You can grow. You can become confident if you start today. The 3 common problems English learners face. First is the fear of making mistakes. It's the biggest mental wall, persistent and invisible. You're afraid to mispronounce, afraid to look foolish, afraid others will laugh. So even though your brain has the words, your mouth stays shut. Second is the desire to be perfect. Many learners wait until they can speak perfectly before they speak at all. But here's the truth. If you wait until you're perfect, you'll never start, because nobody is perfect. Language is about communication, not flawless performance. Third is the input-only trap. You listen, you read, you watch videos, but you never speak, never write. It's like trying to learn how to swim by reading books without ever touching water. You gain knowledge, but no real ability. The 3 simple and powerful solutions in some English success. First, talk to yourself. The easiest, most underrated method. It's free, it's private, no one will judge you. You can begin today. Just 5 minutes a day. Describe your room, narrate your day, speak your thoughts out loud. This builds your reflexes and melts your fear. Second, find a practice partner. In today's connected world, it's easier than ever to meet language learners online. Someone learning your native language or also learning English. A simple 15-minute exchange call can help you practice regularly and build confidence step by step. Third, use English in real life. Don't wait until you're fluent to speak. Speak to become fluent. A simple hello at a cafe, a thank you at the airport. These little victories give you a sense of success, and every small success adds to your growing confidence. The final message: keep going and keep growing. You don't need to be fast. You just need to keep going. English learning is a long road, and every small step you take today is a solid foundation for tomorrow. Keep going, even if it's just 5 minutes a day. Even if today you don't sound fluent, even if you still make mistakes, keep practicing and you will change. Everyone who speaks well today once struggled just like you, but they didn't stop, and neither should you. Thank you and call to action. Thank you so much for watching and listening until the very end. The fact that you're still here shows how serious you are about personal growth, about mastering English, and about chasing your goals. That's powerful. If this content helped you, please take a moment to hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to Kunzy Podcast English to continue learning with us. Every time you share, you're not just supporting our channel, you're inspiring someone else to begin their journey. Be part of the Kunzy community, a place where we learn, speak, and grow together. Keep going, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode.